year.
First pitch swinging, line drive, he's done it. John Means has no hit the Mariners. They go! Brown fakes, dishes, Kyrie going for the 50-piece. Irving has 50!
Pressure from the Steelers. Mayfield in trouble, and he's going to be taken down. Who else but T.J. Watt?
First downs on this drive. Heineke ends on McLaurin, touchdown!
Torres drives that ball center field, hit deep, going back near the wall. Wilkerson, maybe, nope, goodbye, home run. Get him out of there! Don't throw to him.
I never seen anything like
Put
it.
up four fingers.
I've never seen anything like it.
He is just tearing the Orioles apart.
Jonathan Taylor, goodbye, touchdown, Indy, as he crossed the tape at the goal line. 78 yards.
And here we go.
All right, we're back for an episode of the Sports Department Podcast in a very, very long time, since about mid-September. Life has gotten in the way, but here we are. And like Clark has been saying, well into the summer. Baseball playoffs are right around the corner. So here they are, and we are going
spring
to
training, man. Come on.
quickly hit on the wild card round. That saw 4 teams go home, and then 4 teams advance to the divisional round, which we will take a look at as that is starting on Tuesday when this goes up. So before we get into all of those games, guys, what's going on? Been a while.
Been working, man. You know, you guys know the grind. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun wild card series for some of us, not for the lone
others
member at the bottom. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what the rest of the DS brings us.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't think the playoffs were fun at all. I think they sucked so far.
So
I mean, every game was done in besides one in 2 games. I think they kind of stink so far.
Let's just hit on that briefly. Do you like the new format of a best of 3 wild card round?
I love it because the one example is just Philly beating out the NL Central champions in the Cardinals. Yeah. Philly, if this was last year, Philly would not have made the playoffs at all. And this year, in a best of 3 series, they beat out the division champs in the Central. I think it's great. It just adds more opportunity. The games this weekend, all of them were rough.
Very good.
Good.
The weekend as a whole was very good, I think. Yeah. I liked it better as a series, though, opposed to a single game. At first I just liked the single game wild card elimination. I've since flipped and I enjoy the best of 3 now.
Yeah, I agree that the series is better, but I didn't think any of the games were like outstanding. I mean, Philly kind of dominated St. Louis. The Padres dominated the Mets except for 1 game.
Each series, though, had some drama to it.
Yeah.
I mean, Philly's 6-run 9th inning to win game 1.
True.
Mariners
touchdown comeback.
7-run comeback.
True.
Guardians Rays. When is something gonna give in 15 innings at that point?
Oh, the drag, but yeah. I see your point.
I mean, it really was the Mets. That was really the only bad series. Like the Mets game they won was a blowout, and then the 2 they lost were blowouts.
Blowouts, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I like the 3 games.
So
I prefer it too, definitely.
Let's just jump into that. Any quick notes on the Rays Guardians series, which saw the Guardians winning 2 games? One of which they basically played 3 almost at that point, where the clinching game for them went into 15 innings with an Oscar Gonzalez walk-off home run in the bottom of the 15th inning, and Corey Kluber will forever hear SpongeBob SquarePants theme song in his nightmares. And it is ironic that he was one who gave up the lone home run, but the Guardians in dramatic fashion walk it off. So I feel like that was kind of the least interesting series, just because both those teams are kind of built the same way, where it's like they're not really a lot of offense, great pitching staffs, and it's exactly how you expected it to go. The first game was basically 2 hours with a 2-1 score, and then the second game, no offense whatsoever except for literally 1 swing.
Rays gotta pay up for some hitters. I mean, they rely so much on their pitching, and look what it gets you. No runs. You scored 1 run in 2 games. Can't have that. I think the penny pinching days are over. The analytics, I get it, but you can't roll out G-Man Choi as your cleanup hitter at first base. So I think if you're the Rays, you really got to look to spend some cash this offseason. Guardians pitching, man, they are just unreal. They've always been, though. The whole franchise has just been great for so many years. But it was was a good series. Definitely the most boring one, just because like these are the two games at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, they got they don't
days.
care start time basically.
They should just spread it out more. Every game is like a prime time slot, kind of. I mean, they're killing their own sport as it is. Baseball's not watched enough as it is, and they're killing it. Games on at the same time, and like,
yeah,
come on. But no, you set up well with this. Boring pitching matchup. Old school fan probably love these games a lot.
Justin,
it was enjoyable.
No ghost runner, which is why I went to
yes. I feel like in the playoffs, play 10 through 12 regular, and then 12 and on. If you get to that point, throw a ghost runner on there. Just get it over with at some point. Flip side of the AL saw the Mariners taking out the Toronto Blue Jays. First game
in Vlad's house, yeah.
In the first game, Big Dumper Cal Raleigh got a hold of a good old pitch. Yeah, that's his nickname.
I know.
For a home run to jump out to a 4-0 win, and then in the second game, the Blue Jays jumped out to an 8-1 lead, and they thought they were all cruising to a victory. And then slowly but surely, the Mariners chipped away to win it. Was it 10-8? Was the final 10-9? I think it was
10-8. I think. Yeah.
You can't blow that lead. You can't blow 7 runs. How do you not go to Jordan Romano earlier than when they did at that point? Once they started mounting a comeback, once it was getting to like 5-8, it's like, oh shit, let's try a little bit. And honestly, that's the type of game that keeps interim manager John Snyder an interim manager at that point. I get the players like him, but still, you can't blow that.
No, you can't, and they did. I don't even know what to say. That's one of the worst collapses in modern history that I've seen. Like, I'd rather get blown out like the Mets did for 2 games and lose
100%. Yeah, especially when you were literally 2 grand slams from giving up the lead at that point, and you
can't be down a touchdown and and lose like that. Like that's just pathetic. It's a fireable offense, like you kind of alluded to there. I don't know. I had 2 my World Series picks both got eliminated in the wild card round.
Oof.
So
who was your other one? Oh, Mets.
No, Cardinals.
Who was your matchup? Cardinals and who?
Cardinals Blue Jays.
Oh,
the Birds.
The Birds.
That was my matchup.
Yeah, I gotta go check the tape for mine. Jeez.
None of us got Rookie of the Year right. I'll tell you that. I said Seiya Suzuki. Clark said O'Neal Cruz, who had just a bad second half, really. And
Justin apparently
I amended to O'Neal Cruz,
but now it's probably Spencer Strider, Michael Harris right now. But no, I mean you can't.
That's just that's probably the worst loss of this weekend.
I love it.
Yeah, seeing the Rays and Jays go out, no skin off my back.
That's rivalries for you. I don't really care about that. I'm rooting for the M's, but that's about it.
The Blue Jays talk so much shit all year.
They don't shut the fuck up.
We're disrespected. Last year was the trailer. This is the movie. This is Vlad's house. Alek Manoah pressure something. You put in tires. Dude, you gave up 4 runs in the first inning. You're bad.
Big dumper.
That was an embarrassment of a loss. At home, too.
Yeah.
It was. I know it was.
George Springer also got killed. That's another little thing from there. But where do they go from here? Don't know. Their pitching moves, for the most part, didn't pan out as much as they wanted.
Not at all.
Yusuke Kikuchi got relegated to the bullpen. Jose Barrios is atrocious. Kevin Gausman's okay for the most part. And they have some serious reevaluating to do in the off season. So a series Bologna alluded to was the Cardinals and the Phillies, which saw the anticlimactic end of 2 Hall of Fame careers of 2 of the greatest players we've seen in our lifetime, of Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina, and the Cardinals are sent home packing. Yeesh.
Bad.
That just comes down to that 1-2 punch of Philly. I mean, Nola and Wheeler, that's filthy. I mean, their relief pitching has stepped up in the second half, but their whole team kind of stepped up in the second half.
Schwarber was has kept them afloat while Castellanos was out, while Harper was out.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that this season started with them firing Joe Girardi.
Yeah. And now Rob Thompson just got a 2-year deal today.
Yep.
So
Good for him.
Yeah, he 100% deserves it. It's fun to see, a team that was, on the brink of giving up back in May or whenever Girardi got fired.
And that's the thing. It's like, I get they're like in your division, but they're not like a douchey team like the Blue Jays are,
I always go back to like years ago with the Phillies and everything. I can't stand them.
The Chase Utley Howard
team. Braves have probably jumped them since then, but
no, I get what you're saying. But
Utley never did anything bad to the Mets, right?
No.
Oh yeah, no, not broke the leg of our starting shortstop, going into the World Series. But anyways, good for them, honestly. Two NL East teams in the DS series could have been 3, but yeah.
And boy, what a way to end MVP campaigns for Goldschmidt and Arenado, though.
Honestly, it might hurt them, but I honestly don't.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. But it's just what a.
It hurt Judge last or whatever. Hurt Cole in the Cy Young last year.
I saw a stat too. They were combined like 1 for 15 in the 2 games.
That's rough.
And Nolan had the error in the 9th too. That could have stopped the bleeding a bit, but
But who else would you pick for MVP in the National League?
Machado,
Mookie, Freddie, maybe.
Yeah, pick any.
Whoa.
What was that? You good over there, Clark?
I'm good.
Whose buzzer's going off? You guys don't hear that? Oh, I guess that's my computer.
I just muted and unmuted and it was still going on.
Oh, I don't know. Oh well, I guess we'll just do it with it's like when I had the cricket in the background the one time.
No, that was funny.
Oh, Bologna, we're not hearing you.
Oh, I guess we know who it is.
Probably.
Okay. Nope. Oh,
that made it worse. Fix your USB, maybe.
Plug it back in.
You have to throw the technical difficulties.
Throw your laptop in the pool or something.
Can you hear me now?
There we are. We're back in business.
Okay. I might have hit it and loosened it, but So the Cardinals, they fired Mike Schilt because he couldn't get past the wild card. Now Ali Marmol makes bad pitching decisions and they don't get past the wild card. So it's like, that's not looking great. I mean,
just
a brutal loss for the Cardinals. And I mean, to a Philly team that just barely squeaked in.
That's the thing. They were dead and buried in August.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals just ran away with the Central at one point, but lost. But
again, it's the Central. I mean, it's the weak. Both Centrals are the weakest divisions in baseball.
And then the last matchup is near and dear to Clark's heart. That is the San Diego Padres. Taking out the New York Mets in 3 games. The lone game on Sunday. Scherzer got rocked. DeGrom did the job. And then Bassett couldn't put it all together and fell behind early. And the Mets are going home in a very, very deflating and depressing way.
So bad.
What are your thoughts, Steve?
They beat our best assets. That's what it came down to. The pitching was the greatest thing on the Mets. The starting pitching, they rocked Scherzer and just changed it all from there. It was not fun seeing that in person at all. It sucked. It was fun for like the first 20 minutes when the entrances and
and then first pitch.
And crap.
First pitch they got a hit. That's right.
Basically with Profar.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the first pitch of the game.
The first pitch of the game, and I was like, there goes the no hitter then. But they were just better. They hit better in 2 of the 3 games. They pitched better in 2 of the 3 games. They all around they were just the better team. They wanted it more. I mean, I have no excuses. I mean, I could bring up Musgrove's ears, but they checked him. They checked him. I mean,
they didn't check his nuts though.
I mean,
Clark doesn't get the reference, but
I mean, they checked him, so I believe him. But
and it's like
there were something on his ears, but I don't know what it was, but his spin rates were up. Everything was up.
But even then, if say it was Buck just trying to throw him off his rhythm, Bassett also at the same time shouldn't get shook like he did for the Padres hitters stepping out of the box every other pitch. It seemed.
I'm not making excuses.
No, I know. I'm just saying, clearly then it didn't affect Musgrove if what they were doing affected Bassett then at that point.
No, but I don't know. I feel like I trust that they checked him and whatever I saw, he's clean. But all the stats being up and all like the,
It's
all the
definitely
nerd
it's
stats
definitely
being
it's
up.
definitely interesting.
It is. I'm not calling him a cheater yet until
Maybe
it
he
comes
was,
out,
and maybe
the
he was
buzzer
just
stuff. But
exactly. Maybe he was just locked in though. At the end of the day,
maybe.
Yeah. Inexcusable series loss for the Mets. I think that's fair to say.
Definitely.
It's tough because this team's got a lot of pending free agents. Now, Clark, let me ask you this. Are you mad they went Max game 1 over Jake to try and do the whole, Max will win us game 1 and then we'll have Jake for game 3 or game 1 of the DS? You mad at that?
No, because Max has been, better as of late. They both haven't been great as of late, but Max has been more consistent all year too. He's pitched more games this year. He's been healthier all year, even though he's missed some time. He's been healthier than Jake all year. I think he deserves to have it. And, that's why you have a pair of aces to have these, good problems to have who to start game 1. Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom, 2.
Yeah.
1 definitely Hall of Famer, 1 more than likely eventually. No, because then I think, if Scherzer wins that, then you have Bassett for 2. If you lose that with Bassett, which wound up happening with Bassett losing, then you have Jake who put on a great performance for game 3. I mean, I think it was the right move.
The one managerial head scratcher for me was in last night's game when Thomas Nido was leading off the 9th inning. How do you not go to at least Alvarez or someone different who's better at offense at least than Nido? Because at least then I get it. Like they're also carrying McCann though. So if you somehow
he didn't get 1 plate appearance,
I understand. But if you were worried about having a defensive catcher to handle the staff, still pinch hit Alvarez. And if by some chance you tie the game and need to go into catching, then you put in McCann at that point.
I didn't like that, and I didn't like the bullpen management in game 2. Having Ottavino go 30-something pitches not called for when you're up 5 runs.
Yeah, he was losing it. On TV, on TV, you could audibly hear him like groaning to get out.
Yeah, and Diaz going back out for like 1 or 2 batters after he pitched like 20 pitches already, like stupid stuff like that. Happy didn't get swept because after Friday night, I'm like, they're getting swept. It looked bad.
I knew with Jake on the mound, they weren't going to lose that.
Yeah, and that was a dominant win, so at least I got 1 playoff win.
It cushions the blow a tad, but it still sucks.
It's awful. After 101 win season, I mean, to go out in the wild card round when you shouldn't even bet in the wild card round to begin with, it's rough.
And now the big question is, which we'll address later on in the offseason, is who do they resign and who they let go at that point?
Bassett, a lot of money to spend.
Bassett, Walker,
Diaz, Nimmo.
Diaz, Jake, Nimmo. Yeah, it's gonna be
a different team. It's gonna be a different team.
Half coming back, probably half walking. It's just a matter of who they prioritize and what money they throw out somewhere. So let's shift gears into the DS series now, which sees the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Yankees, the Mariners taking on the Astros, the Phillies taking on the Braves, and then the Dodgers taking on the Padres. It's interesting that 3 out of the 4 are all divisional matchups at that point.
That's actually really funny. Yeah.
So let's start out with the Mariners and the Astros. How are we feeling about this series? How do we like it? AL West matchup.
I really, really want the Mariners to win. I really, really do.
So do I.
I think they could do it too.
They're such an enjoyably fun team.
I think they can win their home games, but sadly, that's not enough in the DS.
They're going to have to take one of the first 2 out of Houston, honestly.
I just think Houston's too good. Verlander's having an insane resurgence year, after being hurt. Cy Young winner for sure in the American League. They're just too good. As of right now, when the playoffs started, they were my World Series pick. And honestly, I hate to say it, they still are. I mean,
but I think matchup wise, the Mariners are a far better matchup against them than like the Guardians would be, or the Blue Jays, or like any of the wild card teams. They are the best out of the AL to face them to start out. They have the pitching, they have the hitting, they have the bullpen. They just have the inexperience of the big moment is really what it comes down to. Meanwhile, the Astros have been in 5 straight ALCSs, which is utterly ridiculous at that point. If the Mariners were to win, it would have to go to 5. I don't see them somehow sweeping. I don't see them taking in 4. It would have to go to 5.
The Astros just have it all, though. They have the hitters.
They have 7 pitchers that are worthy of being starters.
Their relief pitching's good. Like everything's just good about them. It's.
They don't lose.
No.
It doesn't help either that, again, Astros had a nice couple day break, and they're getting Logan Gilbert game 1. So you're talking the Mariners 3 starter there. It's going to be tough. Like you guys said, they're going to have to win 1 out of 2 in Houston. It's only a 5-game series, right?
Yes. Yeah, DS is 5, CS is 7.
Yeah, I could see Houston winning the first 2, and then just maybe the Mariners win the first one at home, but then Houston just taking care of business.
It would be such a fucking deflating series if they just get swept out. Like, that would just suck for Seattle. It really would.
Yeah, it would.
I'm gonna go with the Astros though to win in 4.
Astros in 4. I agree.
3 for me.
Oof, calling the sweep.
Yeah.
Sticking with the AL, let's go Guardians Yankees. A
Big one.
Yankees.
high-powered offense versus pitching that strikes out a lot of batters, and an offense that doesn't strike out a lot. Basically, they're 2 complete polar opposites. Cole versus Quantrill to start the series. Oh boy, and then Bieber versus Nestor, and then don't know the game 3 matchup, but
it's McKenzie's and Severino.
okay, so
Pretty good matchups, actually.
it is. Bologna, you want to start this one off? How do you feel?
I'm feeling good. Feeling pretty confident. Yankees getting healthy too. Matt Carpenter supposedly going to be ready to go for it. Matt Chapman, Aroldis Chapman off the roster.
Off the team, basically, too.
Basically, yeah. He didn't feel confident that he'd be on the roster. So when the Yankees couldn't give him a permanent answer if he was going to be there or not, he did not show up, and that just forced him to left off the roster. And
That's wild.
pretty much ending his tenure with the Yankees, which was an up and down one, but at his dominance, he was really good. So
He was. It's just the window didn't match up of his prime to their winning and going on runs.
biggest thing here for the Yankees, we all know Aaron Judge. He 62 homers, almost triple crown, going to be MVP. You can't go MIA now. He did it the whole regular season. You want your money, can't go MIA here.
I agree.
You better come up and step up for your team. Garrett Cole, another one. I mean, Clark feels the pain with Scherzer.
Yeah, we saw the last postseason performance for Cole was him getting hit around in Boston last year.
And he's had a good year this year too, Cole, with a lot of strikeouts and everything. I think most in the AL.
But his problem is he's given up a lot of home runs, led the league in the American League in home runs.
Out of the 3 Yankees pitchers that are guaranteed to go this series, he's the one that I have the most questions about, honestly. Because I think Nestor's fine. I think Sevy's fine. Garrett in big game situations. I don't know. We saw he put up a stinker last year. It'll be a big redeem game for him this year. If, he goes like 5-6 scoreless, and a couple hits only.
That's the saving grace, at least, because the Guardians, they don't hit many home runs, really, as we saw. And Austin Hedges' quote saying that they don't rely on the big home run to win.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what random Guardian is going to hit a home run off of Garrett Cole? Probably.
I'm going to say Jimenez. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can legit see the Yankees being up 3-0 in the 5th, and then Cole gives up a 2-run or 3-run homer. That's realistically what probably could happen. Yankees won 5 of 6 against them in the regular season. So the one they did lose was Tristan McKenzie on the mound, who was just awesome that day. So it's can the Yankee pitching hold up? Because the offense is going to score, but it's can the pitching just
hold up?
Yeah. And if it's 2-1 in the 8th inning, you got to make sure your bullpen choice is right, because Cleveland will get runners on. They will move them over, and they'll probably tie the game if your bullpen isn't ready. So they're a scrappy team. It's not going to be easy, but I think the Yankees can win.
And as we saw too, once they get to Karinchak in Class A, offenses go to die.
It's done. Yeah.
So what are you calling here?
I'm gonna say Yankees in 4. I think win first 2, lose 1, and then win the 4th.
I'll go Yankees in 5.
I really want to say the Guardians just for spite and hope and enjoyment. But at the end of the day, I'm with Clark. I think it will be Guardians in 5. I think they are scrappy and not Guardians, Yankees in 5. I think they're scrappy enough to give them a run, but I don't think they have the offense yet. It would have been nice to see them go out and get a big bat in the trade deadline, which they didn't, and they just kind of stayed pat. But I think the Yankees still will advance to the CS at least. So moving things over to the NL, 2 teams Clark is very familiar with, the Phillies and the Braves. Clark, who do you want to see go home first? Because one of them has to advance.
Braves.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean,
but if we're talking, Braves have their starting pitching insane. Philly
Strider just got an extension, so That's another one they're going to keep for 7 years at least.
Yeah, we're screwed. Yeah, I mean, Philly not blew their load, but they had to rely on, I don't know who, Bailey Falter maybe. I don't know who's their 3.
Ranger Suarez starting game 1 for them.
Okay, so decent, but not not.
They had to go to Zach Eflin to close it out. Though.
I saw it's Suarez, Fried, Nola, Wright, and then it's Wheeler, and then who's the third for the Braves?
Strider.
Morton.
Well, Strider hasn't said yet if he is going to pitch. I don't think last time I saw. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him, maybe out of the pen.
Morton's the third.
But I just think they're the
Atlanta's
world champs. They're so good. They are in the Astros category where it's like, what fault can you find in their lineup? Really not many to begin with. And also the champions, kind of courtesy. They are that damn good. And
there's 3 teams like that. That's the Astros, Braves, and Dodgers. We'll get to the Dodgers in a little bit, but they're I don't know how much more to say. They have the power. They have the hitters. They have the insane They are
that damn good. It's just simple as that.
So with that being said, I got Braves in 3.
Me too.
I say Braves in 4.
I don't think the Philly offense can't hold up.
I think they get 1 in Philly, but nothing else after that. And finally, the last series is all the way out west. The Padres taking on the Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
This could be a very, very messy series for the Padres.
Yeah, I mean, who are they throwing out? Clevenger tomorrow?
Yeah, who has a 6 ERA against the Dodgers this season.
And Urias and Kershaw is your 1-2. Come on.
They have like 3 Cy Young winners on the Dodgers. It's just what are we doing? It's the lineup top to bottom 1 through 9. Elite all-star caliber players practically everywhere. It's not going to be a fun time in San Diego. It's great that they're getting a series, but it sucks that they're having to play the Dodgers.
And then you find diamonds in the rough like Trace Thompson and guys like these, and like, come on, you don't need that. You already have Mookie, Freddie. You don't need.
What are we doing here? Yeah, like what are you doing?
Yep. I'm gonna say I like the way the Padres played, but again, the Dodgers are a different beast. They're perfect everywhere. The Dodger offense can put up 10 runs on you easily. I think the Padres can get a game on them.
Me too.
I'm going to say Dodgers in 4.
I 100% agree. Dodgers.
I'm with you there on that one. So that wraps up the playoff preview for the divisional series. We'll be back probably for a similar type of podcast, recap the DS, preview the CS, and then away we go. And then we'll work on some football podcast as well. So Clark,
I got NBA too.
Oh, sweet Jesus, and hockey.
I gotta set up.
You could take care of the hockey.
Yeah, Justin works on hockey shows now. He can do that.
Hey man, you've been working hockey since you started at the old network. So whenever those things ever come out, if they come out, Clark, where can people listen and watch?
Yeah, subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow the socials on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at SportsDepthPod. That's Sports DEPT Pod. We're practically in next year's postseason with baseball already. No, baseball postseason's fun. We're having a good time. Oh, Brock Lesnar just showed up on my TV. That's fun.
Maybe a wrestling one. Who knows? Well,
Saudi's coming in like a couple of weeks, I think.
November, first weekend in November, I think.
Maybe. After we go to Indy.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Don't want to go there.
Ron Rivera quote, quarterback.
Colts issue, also quarterback. Head coach.
Basketball, hockey, maybe. Football, sports, wrestling.
The fun stuff.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.